What is up, nerd friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Bench. It's unboxing day. The 2848 14 scale size motors have been out for a minute, but this is the first opportunity we've had to do an unboxing. These are available in 3 different KVs and a lot of other information we're going to go over here next. But let's pop this guy open. Ooh, the angels sing every time I open up a new motor, I feel like. This guy out of here. See, sensor harness. Your best friend in the whole wide world, the instruction manual. This has actually, if you ever needed to know the hard info on the motor, there's a spec chart in here that gives you the bolt patterns and the sizes of everything on there, which I think is pretty handy. So you got 19mm spacing with 3mm mounting holes. That's a question that comes up all the time. It is a 1/8 inch size shaft, or the 3.175mm if that's your jam. So the normal full size pinion gears and stuff like that. This guy out of the blister pack, and there you have it, the XERun 2848. So those numbers are the actual motor size. It's a 28mm diameter and a 48mm length. These guys are available in 3 different KVs: 2800 kV, 4000 kV, and a 4600 kV. The 2800 and the 4000 kV are rated for 2 to 3S applications. The 4600 kV is more of a 2S only motor. Take a look there at the face. You see full size 3mm mounting holes, and again, that is a 19mm spacer center if you're looking up that sort of fun information. But basically, it's a shrunken down full size sensor motor set up to go into the 14 scale kind of go fast buggies and trucks that are out there that are real popular for micro class racing. I'll throw some calipers on here just to confirm. So you see there, 48mm length with my ultra precise plastic calipers, and on the outside there you see 28 and some change because of the heat sinking, but you get right down there, it's just under 28. It is a fully sensored motor. It will run sensorless fine, and it does have adjustable end bell timing. So you see there's a CW and a CCW. Normal forward rotation for vehicles is counterclockwise rotation of the motor when you're looking at the shaft. So when you go to make your timing adjustments, they go opposite each other. Counterclockwise is positive, is clockwise is negative, so to speak. Get asked all the time what motor or what speed control should you use with this, and because these are going in race applications, the stock spec or the just stock are super popular for these. Most of those guys in like the 14 scale, Losi makes one, a Mini B. They are running 2-cell setups because it's plenty of power. But something I haven't done in a while on an unboxing is take one apart and take a look inside, because these motors are rebuildable. A lot of the, I guess, micro racing that you're going to do, it might be on dirt tracks, so you might run into a situation when you take these guys apart and clean them. So I think it's a good idea to take a motor apart every once in a while and show folks what it looks like on the inside. So you have 2 2mm hex screws that are on the end. I think it's a 2.5mm thread. The end bell cap comes off this way. It's going to be just a little bit stuck on there. The rotor wants to come with. Oh wait, no, I'm doing this wrong. So this little cap comes off first. There's this piece that holds that sensor assembly, or the plate on, and then you can give this guy a wiggle. And I think it should make it's not coming out as easy as I hoped it would. So I guess it's all coming out together. That's fine. Very strong magnet. And then let's get this guy off of here. There we go. Ooh, I shot a shim across the table. There's one little brass shim guy that stays on there so that you don't lose all that. Hopefully that's the only one I lost. But there's your rotor. You see there, it is a 4-pole motor. You have 1 magnet, 2 magnets, 3 magnets, 4 magnets on there. Kevlar wrapped. They're balanced. This is a very fancy setup on both ends. And this guy here is for the sensor board. It's the magnetic ring that tells the sensor board where everything is. Take a look in here. That sensor board assembly, you see the bearing that you can probably, if you've done bearing replacements before, you really get that guy pressed out of there. You see itty bitty tiny screws that hold that sensor board on. And then the actual motor itself, the 4-pole motors are always got a lot more winds in them than a regular 3-pole motor or a 2-pole motor that you maybe used to seeing, but you see all the segments in there. So looks good. Now let's see if we can get this guy back together. So if you've ever, there's a brass shim down on the bottom there. I'm going to try to get that guy out of there. So there's 2 shims on there. Well, the first one that's on there is a little spring washer to keep a little tension, and the other guy is just a simple brass shim. Now, the motors are not going to be universally identical for the shims. They're going to be a little bit different. Sometimes the shims are thicker or thinner, but we try to do all the shims on that one side. So a trick that I've learned over the years is that sometimes when you go to put the rotor in there, the magnet wants it to pull to either one side or the other, and it can be a little bit tricky. You can do like a piece of cardstock or some decal material, turn it into a tube, slide that guy in there, but you slide that guy in there, and obviously you can make that the right length, and this will allow the rotor to get up in there without mashing up against the sides real hard. Kind of acts as a guide, and then you can push that guy down in there, slide your sleeve out, and that saves you any risk of scratching that guy up. Regular 540 motors, we have a rotor tool for that, but we don't have one for these little guys just yet. So that would be my pro tip if you're trying to get in there and do that stuff. The rear, now that it's been on or off once or twice, it works a lot easier. Put our little cap back on, replace the screws. And if you do rebuild your motor, you got to pay attention to where the timing was before you took it apart, and if you made any adjustments. But they all come set from the factory or out of the box, if you will, at that kind of same setting, which is right in the center there at the 30-degree mark. So, well, look at that. I got pretty lucky. Nailed it. Snug these guys up. And again, I've seen people wrench on their RCs very aggressively. Like, this is that's plenty tight. You don't need to crank these guys down. There's a little bit of Loctite on there that should be fine. And then you want to always check for in and out. You want just a little touch of in and out end play. Not a lot, as little as you can have and still have some. And a lot of times, because that spring washer in there is so new, it's taking all that gap up, so it's not going to feel like there's a ton in a brand new motor, but after you run it a couple times, that'll start to break in. Some of the other information, the bearing sizes themselves, there's a front and a rear bearing. This is the front bearing, this is the rear bearing. They are not exactly the same, unfortunately. The front one is a 9.52 by 3.17 by 3.96, and the rear bearing is a 6.35 by 3.175 by 2.778. That's listed in the chart that's in your instruction manual, or there will be a link down below this video that has the official website link as well as instruction manuals and stuff like that. And as a quick note, these are similar in size to like a 400 size motor, a little bit bigger than a 380. And for some of the cool 12 scale applications that are out there, not just the 14 scale, these will work in that as well. Well, there you have it, folks. That is a first look at the XERun 2848 motor. And like we said, available in 3 different KVs, 2800, 4000, and 4600. This is a 28mm by 48mm motor made for 14th scale vehicles, on-road, off-road, and even some of those cool 12 scale ones that use that undersized motor. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to shoot us an email, northamerica@hobbywing.com. If you like podcasts, we do a podcast, and not only that, we give away a free Hobbywing combo each and every episode. Look up RC Stuff, powered by Hobbywing, on your favorite podcast service. Listen to an episode so you can find out how to enter to win. And as always, folks, thanks for tuning in. New every Tuesday, it's The Charlie Show right here on the Hobbywing official YouTube channel. We will see you all next time.